Good afternoon, everyone. This is Patricia, and I'm traveling for history. By request, there's this building right here in front of us. Before I start talking about it, though, let's look up. I'm in Burlington, Vermont today on Colchester Avenue. And looking up the street, we can see at the very top. Let me zoom in for you. Well, maybe you can't quite see it, but it does bend off to the right at the top of Colchester Ave. The left up there is the entrance to Greenmount Cemetery. I have, I think, 7 videos on that topic, and it's very visitable. Is that even a word? You can visit that cemetery very easily. Do keep in mind it is locked at night. All right, that's your public service announcement, I suppose. Onto this building here. Since there's a lot of traffic on Colchester Avenue and there's no good time of day to film, I'm here during the day. Hopefully the microphone I'm using will help drown out the noise. This is number 495 to 497 Colchester Avenue, and it's interesting. This is my third request for a history of video. The first one was after I uploaded the Winooski block, which is of course across the bridge right there that goes to Winooski. Someone asked for an interior walking tour of it, so I uploaded a video on that. Someone asked for the John Trono block, also in Winooski, Vermont, which is where Sneakers Bistro is located, which after a week of tireless searching, I finally found something on it and was able to offer a video on that. And today I'm offering a video on this. It was requested after I did the Old Stone House, also located in Winooski, Vermont. I did quite a few videos in Winooski maybe 3 weeks ago now. And anyway, a friend emailed me, said that she likes that building, the Old Stone House, and drives by it just about every day. And then she asked if I knew anything about this place. As I recall from a few years ago, she said this was her favorite building in Burlington. And after quite a bit of digging, I finally have information on it. What's interesting is I had thought I had read about this place in a book. I understand I've been conducting research on Burlington's history for the last 35 to 40 years since I was a kid. So, trying to remember which book that could be. Well, think about that. So I went to my go-to, which is a 3-volume set of Historic Guide to Burlington Neighborhoods, written by David Blow. Outstanding set, by the way. I've read plenty of history books over the years. I have a degree in history. I can count on one hand the number of interesting history books I have read. Certainly in college, only one. But this set by David Blow is excellent. So whether you use it as a guide when you're walking around in a neighborhood, or just using it as research and a basis of other research, it's fabulous. It reads well. But on to the history of this building here. So I'm going to be reading you two things. Extracts from the Historic Sites and Structure Survey that was dated about 1993. And the purpose of it was to increase the boundary of the Winooski Falls Mill Historic District. So there's this building and a few others I'm going to be covering today, but right now for this video, only this building. And I'm also going to read an excerpt from David Blow's book, Historic Guide to Burlington Neighborhoods, Volume 2, because I was really thrilled that I found the book I saw it in years ago. All right, so first, the Historic Sites and Structure Survey. By the way, that's an interesting read. It may not sound it, but it actually can be. All right. So we can see there are apartments on the back end of it. The second story is the second story that's visible, because actually this is a 3-story building. I'll explain that in just a moment, but apparently there are 2 apartments on the top floor right here. So the building was originally constructed as a store between 1841 and 1846. to serve the rapidly expanding manufacturing and commercial center developing around Winooski Falls. From 1851 to 1882, the building was a forge and blacksmith shop operated by Albert and George Duncan. In 1883, the shop was purchased by I.S. Dubuc, that's capital D-U-B-U-C, who continued to use the building as a blacksmith and wheelwright shop with a painting shop on the second floor. By 1889, Dubuc had expanded his operations and built lumber drying sheds, which were connected with a carriage house to the south and a livery next door. Insurance maps indicate the building was used to sell secondhand goods from 1894 until about 1912, when Dubuc converted the building into a grocery store. In addition to being a significant example of the mid-19th century commercial development at Winooski Falls, the building also shows changes to the district brought about in the aftermath of the disastrous flood of 1927. Along with the destruction of Winooski Falls dams and extensive damage to the mills, the flood swept away the iron bridge connecting Burlington and Winooski. To accommodate the increased height of the replacement bridge, "8 feet of fill was added to Colchester Avenue, raising the grade up to the level of the second story on the building's west side." The side facing us is the west side. All right, so that was from the Historic Sites and Structures Survey. And now I'm going to read to you from David Blow's book as well. Quote, "This solid brick structure, now an apartment house, inherits a long and varied history. Some parts of the building date back to 1822, for on March 11 of that year, Frederick Brewster sold to Guy Catlin for $500, quote, 'all my right in the blacksmith shop standing above the bridge over said falls,' unquote. Today," and that's, by the way, this book was written in 1997. Today, as we view 495 to 497 Colchester Avenue, we see what was once the second floor level. The 1927 flood swept away the old bridge connecting Burlington and Winooski. To accommodate the increased height of the present bridge, approximately 8 feet of fill was added to Colchester Avenue, raising the street grade up to the level of the second floor story on this building's west side. The Burlington Free Press of December 13, 1839 announced, quote, "These subscribers have taken the blacksmith shop formerly carried on by the Burlington Mill Company east of Sidney Barlow's store, and also the one near the bridge on the Burlington side, where they would promptly attend to all kinds of work in their line. Particular attention given to shoeing horses, carriages, and sleighs ironed in the best manner, and large jobs requiring to be turned executed promptly and in the most perfect manner. A.R. and C. Duncan, Burlington Falls," unquote. For nearly 50 years, Albert R. Duncan operated the shop on the Burlington side in this building. Along with many other people, Albert came to Winooski in 1836 at the age of 19, just as the new woolen mill opened. He died in Winooski March 31, 1895, having sold his shop to Isaac S. Dubuc in 1883. Dubuc continued to operate the blacksmith and wheelwright shop with a carriage factory and paint shop on the second floor. By 1889, his operations expanded, and he built lumber drying sheds connected with his carriage manufactory and a livery next door. From 1894 until about 1912, Dubuc ran a secondhand store here. After the latter date, he converted the building into a grocery store. The Vermont Historic Sites Survey considered this one of the oldest industrial structures in Burlington. Let's take a walk around to the building, shall we? My best guess is that this door is blocked on the inside because this first step is a doozy. So noisy. Wow. So we can see the brick construction. And these massive stones right here. Another door that is has a, this step would be a real doozy. Oh my gosh, my cane isn't even tall enough for it. So, be careful in the grass, it's pitted. But we can see these stones are quite large. We can see they're stones as opposed to concrete blocks because of the granite up here. But we can also see that it's got a third story, and this is the third story. This was the first floor, second floor, and third floor, but because of the flood of 27 and the 8 feet of fill, the front of the building is just 2 stories tall now. In the front it's 2 stories. All right, let's come down here. And this street we're on, by the way, is called Mill Street because of the Chase Mill at the foot that occupies it now, built in 1895, I think. But it was built on the remnants of another mill. And so we can see this is the back side of the building. And if we go around the other side, look at those blocks for the retaining wall. Holy cow. I mean, these blocks are certainly leaning. Wow. Look at that. That's, what's the word? Insane? Yeah, I think so. So this is the back side of this building. We can see all those huge granite blocks all along the back here on what is the first story of the building, but now it's just considered exposed basement level. Alrighty, so if you're enjoying my channel, you may want to consider subscribing, and I upload and then click the notification bell. You'll be told every single time I upload a video, which at this time is every day of the week, at least once a day, sometimes more than that if I'm feeling particularly boisterous. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you in the next one. This is Patricia. Bye.